Hi, this is Melisha from the Marsupium project. This is our finished Marsupium. It is made of 2 layers. The smaller part is the main habitat, and the outer section is the fire shield. The design principles were discussed in our Marsupium design video. After many iterations and analysis, we finally finished building our initial units. And here, I'll show you what we had to go through to make that happen.
Our journey begins at our local hardware stores, Lowe's and Home Depot. We wanted to use something that was easy to find and assemble. That's when the idea of using terracotta pots popped up. They were easy to find, fireproof, and inexpensive. We bought 2 sizes, one for the inner marsupium and a bigger pot for the fire shield. We cleared out every shelf that fitted designs. Our trips usually ended with at least 30 to 50 pots. We also got green gardening sticks to prop up signs next to the marsupiums during deployment, but we'll cover that in another video. Man, I bet that cashier lady thought we were doing some extreme gardening in her backyard. After we came home, we soaked the pots in water. This made them softer to drill through. We used to soak them in a huge bucket in our backyard, but when the number of pots grew, we moved the pots to our front yard and hosed them down. After that, I created a stencil for the pots. I took measurements for the 2 sizes and where to cut them. This way we had a consistent product with each marsupium. Now it's time for the drilling. We didn't know the differences between the drill bits, so we bought a basic one from Home Depot. But that one ended up breaking, and after a bit of research, we learned that we needed to use a diamond drill bit. And it did make a difference. The cuts were way cleaner. To hold the pots during the drilling process, we originally used an empty Activia yogurt box. However, drilling inside the garage was not ideal because the dust was getting everywhere. So we moved outside. Our poor neighbors had to deal with our 24/7 drilling. The location was ideal, but the Activia box was not working out. A sudden trend of pots breaking began to occur. This was due to the uneven weight distribution of the drill, and the pots kept vibrating within the box. We made our way back to Home Depot. This time, we came to find some sand. Originally, we were going to get some from the backyard until we thought how stupid that sounded. After navigating the garden section and asking multiple employees, we finally found ourselves in a lumber section, which was on the other side of the store. Now, this was our theory with the sand. If we fill this empty container with it, the terracotta pot should be able to suspend within the sand. This holds it in place and prevents the pots from vibrating. Now that my dad's back is successfully broken, let's make our way back home. To create some height, we also bought 3 Home Depot buckets and placed the sand-filled container on top of it. And yes, our theory was correct. The pots were stabilized, and in the end, we did not have any broken pots after this experiment. Now to build the inner marsupium. It is made of 3 things: a planter plate, terracotta pot, and clay. We splashed the clay into a paste and filled every nook and cranny between the other 2 pieces. We covered the entire surface with plastic, and in hindsight, we probably should have worn gloves during this step. After a few hours, we noticed that the clay between the plate and pot began to crack. To avoid this, we created a glaze from the remaining clay and used it to hydrate the seal. After that, we left them to dry. The final step was to place the fire shield over the completed marsupium.
Now that was a journey. We will need to make thousands of marsupiums. And don't think we'll be making them all using the same method. We will find manufacturing partners to ship us the finished units. Hopefully, many of you will help us deploy them. If you have any suggestions on how to improve the design or the manufacturing process, please send us an email or comment down below. Thank you, and remember, together we can solve massive problems.